Welcome to Rusty Wrenches and Ratchet Rides. I'm your host, Rockin'. Today, you can see we've got our script. There's not much left. Well, I mean, we're down to the bare bones. And sometimes you got to start from the bottom and work your back way up to the top. So I think that's what we're doing. I think in this episode, we're just going to tackle some of the small stuff that needs to be done. We got these exhaust manifold bolts that we're going to have to extract out of the heads. So I think we're going to tackle that. Maybe we're going to cut the exhaust off. I've got a muffler showing up. I just can't handle that pawpaw stock exhaust. It's got to come off. Now's the time to do it. So I've got that ordered. I'm not sure when it's going to be in, but we may go ahead and just hack it off before we paint the frame. And we're going to do that in this episode too. We're going to paint the frame. Got to looking, typical Chevrolet U-bolts, they're rusted out. So now's the time, we might as well put those on and order the set, get those swapped out, and do our oil pressure sending unit. And I think that's pretty much going to cut it on the frame for this episode. Then we'll probably move to the cab, prep the firewall, because I got my paint ready for it. We're going to try to compose all that and kind of get that done so we can start pushing forward with getting the cab on the truck, body work, and getting it to where it's at least mobile again so we can move it around if need be. So we're going to jump right in. I'm going to show you kind of what we've done, because I did some stuff off camera. Sorry I did that, but it's just like wire wheeling and stuff like that. It just doesn't provide good content. So I'm sure you guys probably don't want to watch me run a grinder for 2 hours. But I'll show you that and we'll jump right into these manifolds. So are we taking bets? Are these spark plug wires going to come off in one piece? They look original to me, so more than likely, probably not. Well, that one's already broketed. Must have did that when I was taking the cab off. So, well, looks like we're gonna have to at least buy one, and we might as well just buy all of them at that point. Probably needs it. I think these are all original, so we'll just get rid of that. Get these guys out the way, and that one come off. Come on. That one did too. You can definitely tell those are the original guys. So while we're here, we're already putting spark plugs in. We'll just do the wires. We'll have to get in the zone and call AutoZone. Tell them to add those to the list. Come on. Get out the way. All right. So these guys, I've been soaking them down for about a week now. Come out in the morning, soak it down, come home from work, soak them down. So I think we'll put a little more lube on her, and we're gonna hopefully, those are gonna break loose. Aim's a little off today. Let's see what we got. Oh, dang. Yeah, them babies are on there. Let's get a little heat on the situation. Sizzle, sizzle. Give me a wrench. I might get a little more bite. Damn. No dice. No dice. Wonderful. Just a little more lever edge is all we needed. Anytime you see a configuration like this, just leave the guy alone, because it's about to get real. Oh, sweet. The old cheater wrench came through this time. All right, they come off. I know what you're thinking. You're looking at that socket, you're going, what the heck? Yeah, that's a Harbor Freight for you. They made it backwards. Still works, so I don't know. We'll just continue to use it, but we'll put a little heat on these bolts, because if I can keep them from snapping off, we're going to try it. Sweet. Okay. One down, two to go. All right. Dipstick. Has to come off. Alright, so we got it loose. I'm going to go ahead and get this dipstick off. bad. You can see our gaskets are shot. It is what it is. What do you expect for 160,000 miles? So, but I'll bring you in here closer and we'll kind of show you what we got going on. So many things when you're trying to get them out with vice grips, get some that actually have some good teeth left on them, like these. You get them that are slick, it's just gonna cause trouble. So make sure you got a good set there. I'm gonna turn this light off so you guys probably can see a little better maybe. We're just gonna get that guy on there as good as we can. Yeah, it's already turning, so that's good. So just work her back and forth a little bit. Like that. Just work it. Right there we go. She's out. The key to it is just taking your time and don't rush. Don't get in a hurry. Just kind of work it back and forth and put a little heat on it, a little lube if need be, and it's going to come out. The ones that are broken off flush though, we're going to have to weld on a nut and roll with that. Alright, so what we're going to do now is a lot of times when they break off and they're flush, you can actually, or if they're down in there a little bit, you can actually take a nut and weld it to it. And a lot of times it'll give you something to bite to, and then the heat from the welder a lot of times will kind of break that rust and corrosion loose inside. So that's kind of what we're going to try here. I always like to try that before we extract. Makes it a little bit easier hopefully, so we're going to give her a go. Tell you right now that one's not going to hold. Can tell you right now. Yeah. Round two. All right, so take 9005. I think I finally got this stud broken loose to where we can get it out. I'm gonna be honest, I ain't had something like that fight me this bad in a while. And it's just one stud out of, what, 4? Yeah. So that's what we got to look forward to. But I think we finally got it. That's right. Finally got it off there. That was awful, but like I said, it is necessity. Got to be done. So let's just power through it and get it done. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so this one's moving as well. This one was on the first try, so if it'll come out, I'll be happy with that. A little tighter. And this is the one that was broken down inside. So it wasn't flush, it was down in there. I think the guy that would weld this would leave you enough room to get on there. That movement, baby. Come on. So I twisted off, but I brought it out somewhat. We'll do her again. I'm actually running out of washers. Oh boy. Alright, round 2 on this one. Tight. I don't know. We're just gonna work her. Come on, baby. Okay, honey. Got him. Alright, so while we're here, we're going to go ahead and replace the spark plugs. Do that because it's leaking. Go. Sorry if that's in your shot, but it's leaking all over the place, so I bring you in a little closer here. That was nasty. Let's see what these plugs look like. Pretty sure these are the original plugs. Yeah, they don't look too bad. Just like a typical old 20-year-old plug. Original AC Delcos. So, not too bad. We'll go ahead and pull all these guys out. put our new ones in, and we'll roll on with that. Alright, so you can see we got her all put back on. We got our new spark plugs in. Got the new gasket, all new bolts. Show you that one. Got all that on. So I think we're going to go ahead and move over to the other side. And it's pretty much going to be the same thing. You just got a little more stuff over there you got to watch for, like you got your fuse box there. I'll put the wires on when I get them because I forgot to order them. And turns out this coil was actually kind of cracked right there. So I've got some of those up here in the attic. So I'm going to pull one of them down, slap it on there, pick up some wires here this afternoon while I'm in St. Joe, and keep on keeping on. Alright, so we got this side done as well. This side actually went 100 times easier than the other side. We just had that one up there. It was actually long enough I get on with vice grips, and then this one, second weld, it came off. So I think we kind of figured out how to do it a little bit better. We were just kind of ballparking because I've never done this before. Instead of trying to just weld a nut, weld like a fender washer on there, and then you weld it to that really good, and then weld your nut on top of that. Get a bigger nut, go over the top of that weld, and then weld your nut to it. And that seems like it worked a lot better than just trying to weld a nut on there. And it worked out pretty good, you know, in the long run. But we got it all, the gaskets on, everything's bolted back up. We got our new spark plugs in. They look pretty good, actually. I didn't see anything crazy. I mean, they're just typical old spark plugs. I have a truck with 160,000 miles on it, you know. Here's the studs that we got out. And you can see those ones come out pretty good, but these are the ones that fought me. But it wasn't too bad. So I've got to go to St. Joe, get some spark plug wires, and pick up a muffler because, you know, I can't stand that big pawpaw looking thing there. So it's coming off. We're gonna doctor up a little bit and make her sound a little bit better. Make her sound mean. So alright, so now that we have those exhaust manifold bolts tackled, I think what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and tackle these U-bolts. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to try to get the nuts off, see if they're going to come off that way. They may snap off. They're rusted that bad. I mean, you get on there with an impact, a lot of times they just snap it. So we'll do that, and then clean up the brackets underneath all that, and then install our new ones. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'll get back with you. Okay, so we just about got this one ready to come off. So I'm going to go ahead and get him off, and we'll show you how bad these U-bolts get. I mean, it's pretty bad design how they have it. But all that salt and dirt just sits in there and rusts the crap out of these guys. Okay. Okay, there's one. Yikes. Take a look at that. Look at how much that has rusted away. Yeah, I've seen it where these things actually eventually they'll get under a load And if both sides are bad enough, it'll actually snap and twist your differential and throw your U-joint off. And yeah, not a good deal. So we're gonna go ahead and solve the problem before it becomes a problem. So we'll just get these guys off, replace them while we're here. The bed's off, it makes it 100 times easier. So, and they weren't too much. I think they were maybe, what were they? $100, I think, for all 4 U-bolts. So. That one's on there. That one's on there. Alright. There we go. That one's worse. That one there wasn't long for this world. And it's a terrible design because when you look at it here, how these sit in there, they sit in there like this. Well, all that rust and salt just pools up right down in here, and it just rusts the crap out of them. I mean, terrible design, but we're here. Let's get her done. Like I said, I'd hate to see this snap off and ruin our bed that we just spent a ton of money on. So might as well do it right the first time. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this thing up, because we're going to reuse these brackets and then put her all back together. Alright, we got the U-bolts installed. They fit right on. The old ones, well, you can see there just wasn't much life left in these guys. It's just a terrible design, the way all that crap just sits right down in there and just rusts the crap out of it. But it is what it is. We got them swapped out. Now's the time to do it before it becomes an issue. So we got those on. We got our spark plug wires picked up. They're on. So all this is completed here. Manifold bolts in, gaskets. So I did order a muffler today as well. So we're probably going to hack this old girl off probably right here. Put us on a new muffler. And oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys, picked up some rims and tires for it today. They ain't too bad, they're used, but you know, we're on a budget. You know, we gotta save money where we can. Got a good deal on them. We only paid $800 for the wheels and tires. And you can see they still got quite a bit of tread left, and they're Mickey Thompsons. Came with the lug nuts and everything, so it's going to be a lot better than these. They're 17s, stock are 16. I don't want to go with the big 20-inch wheels because tires are not cheap. Been there, done that. These are relatively reasonable if I got to put tires on them. And I like a smaller wheel. That's just the type of guy I am. A smaller wheel with a bigger sidewall. But I think it's going to look pretty good. It's going to fill up the wheel wells a little more on this 3/4 ton. So, but I think we're pretty well done for what we can do today. I think the next step's going to be we're going to get this frame painted, and then we're going to go ahead after we get the frame painted, get the exhaust rolling, probably paint it up, and then weld our new muffler on. And then we got to tackle this thing this week. I've been holding off on it because I really just don't want to do it, but we're going to have to do it this week. I'm going to get this firewall all prepped up, you know, and we're probably just going to paint to here because we can paint this when we jam everything. So we're probably going to paint it up in here, where our VIN tag is, and maybe down over here. The inside of it, the floor and stuff, I'm not going to get carried away because it's all covered up. I mean, we are going to tackle the surface rust here. We're going to grind it down, and we'll probably just put some of that chassis saver on it. You know, that's going to be the best stuff for it. And probably the same with this. We got to weld this up, and we'll probably just put chassis saver over it as well. I mean, it's all covered up. Save materials because I bought a gallon of base, so it's going to be tight. So we're going to do that. Then once we get it on the truck, rocker panels, inspector cab corners, see if we got to replace them. More than likely we will. Then we can do our body work up top, and then start swapping all of our guts over. So, but I think that's kind of the game plan. We're making headway slowly but surely. I was hoping to already have the cab on and start on the body work, but it is what it is. We'll work with what we got. Anyways, I'm going to call tonight. I'm going to go up to the house, hunt me up something to eat, maybe grab me a cold brew, and relax a little bit. So we'll catch up on this probably tomorrow, if not next day. All right, so it's later on in the week. I got everything prepped. Everything's wiped down. We got everything covered up that we want covered up. So the wind's in the right direction. So we're going to go ahead and paint this frame. I'm not going to film it because I don't want this stuff all over my camera that I just spent some of my life savings on. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with the chassis saver. You don't have to reduce it, you can, but this stuff sprays pretty good. So I think we're just going to full blow send it. That's about all there is to it. I'm going to be using a 3M paint gun with the twist cups. I'm going to take the screen out so it'll make it flow a little bit better. And I've done this many times, and that seems to work pretty good. So I think that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to aim for. And I'll show you the finished product when we're done. All right, so a couple days later, things did not go according to plan. It happens. Story of my life. Anyhow, we got it. It looks good. I'm happy with it. It took a little longer than I thought and a little more hours, but here we are. The main problem we ran into was that guy. Yeah, this air compressor that looks like it lived through the Prohibition. It couldn't keep up. I knew that was probably going to be an issue, so it literally took me probably 4 hours to just do both sides of the outside of the frame. I'm talking from here. I mean, that's what we did. I sprayed that on. The rest of it, we had to do it by hand. We just brushed it on, you know, all our springs and our differential and cross members and trailer hitch and stuff. And it turned out pretty good for being a brush on job. You know, I'm happy with it. That's what I like about this chassis saver. You know, you can brush it, you can roll it, you can spray it, and no matter what, it's going to turn out fairly decent. I'm happy with the end results we got. It's going to coat everything down pretty good. Yeah, there's a couple places here and there that we missed, but all in all, I'm happy with it. And the main part that you're going to see, I mean, right here, I mean, it's sprayed. It looks nice. I mean, so we're good. We went all the way up in here. We did our lower control arms, upper control arms, all that. So I think the next step on this before we start mounting everything is I'm going to hack this exhaust off. I should have a muffler hopefully tomorrow. So that's the next plan for this. So we're going to go ahead and focus on this now. So
we're going to go ahead, prep this firewall, get our VIN tag off. I'm going to touch base on this because we've already talked about it. I'm repeating myself, I know, I'm sorry. But that's what I'm going to tackle. And I'll put a camera on it so y'all can watch, and I'll kind of go over a good way to prep things. And we'll roll with that.
So I'm about to do something that's probably going to break the law in the lower 48. I'm going to go ahead and grind this VIN tag off here because we're just going to swap them. So, is it against the law? I don't know, but we're doing it. Don't care. So all you got to do is just grind the heads of the rivets off and it'll pop right off there. It's no longer a 2005, it's a 2004. So the main thing is when you're getting ready to prep something for paint, you know, sanding or scuffing, you want to have a clean panel, because if not, it could cause some issues if you have some grease or some oil on there. So what I always like to do, just get you some wax and grease, put in a bottle, and just spray everything down, wipe it down, go over it a couple times, because if not, you'll get fish eyes. And if you don't know what fish eyes are, you don't want to find out. They're not pleasant. So it's always just a good idea to just wipe your panels down real good, especially up in here. You know, you get a lot of grease, oil, you know, power steering fluid, brake fluid, you know. Just make sure it's clean. You know, that way you don't run into issues, because been there, done that. Learned my lesson. Wipe it down. Was my first real 6-string, ball in it, 5 in down, played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of '69. Me and some guys from school had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Johnny got married. Should've known we never get far. When I look back now, no good last for weather. And if I had a choice, yeah, you know I wanna be there. Those was the best days of me life. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and get some of this urethane off that's around this, where this windshield was. We don't want to paint over it, especially since it's peeling underneath of it. So we're just going to go in there with a die grinder, get it all cleaned off. And actually when you have glass, it's better to actually have bare metal there, you know, for your urethane to attach to. So we'll just take that all down to bare metal. We'll mask it off when we paint, make it easier for my glass guy. So we're going to fire up this air compressor that probably helped build the Great Wall of China, and keep moving forward. Fire up, Sally! There now. Good. Alright, so we're ready to go ahead and start scuffing. You can just get like a red scuff pad. You know, you're going to want something with some aggressiveness. Your gray ones, they're pretty good for like plastic and stuff, but not for this. So you'll want a red scuff pad and just pretty much scuff it until it's dull. Then you know it's ready to spray. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you know, just keep firm pressure and just scrub it like you mean it. So we're going to do that. We'll be back.
Alright, so we went ahead, got her all scuffed up. You don't have to get too carried away on something like that that doesn't get exposed to sunlight a lot. But, well, I'm sure that'll never work again. Where was I? Anyhow, this isn't going to be exposed to sun, so we don't have to worry about prepping it 100%. I mean, yeah, you want to take your time, you want to have it good, but I mean, we don't have to have every little nook and cranny. I mean, done. But get in there, kind of roll your pad up, getting them grooves right there and up underneath and through here, you know, and just get her all nice and scuffed up. Just knock the shiny off and you'll be good to go. So that's prepped. We'll go ahead, blow and wipe it down. And we're going to try to hopefully spray this guy tomorrow, if not Friday. So we'll catch back up with you then.
Alright, so next day, we're here. I've got it all prepped. It's ready to go. So I've got all my paint materials over here. So we're going to go ahead and mix this up. How we want to do this, we're not going to prime it, we're just going to seal it. So we're going to do sealer, base coat, clear coat. So here we're not going to get carried away. We'll probably do one good coat of sealer, let it flash off, maybe a good coat of base on the bottom, maybe 2 coats up top where it's going to be seamed, and then we'll do our clear, put a nice good coat on top, and just kind of mist it on the bottom. Don't have to be perfect, it's never going to be seamed. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to bring you in here while I mix this up and we'll show you what we're doing. Alright, so when painting you always want to start with your sealer unless you're putting primer on. If you're doing primer, put that on first. We're just sealing today. I've already got it mixed up. I mixed it up at work. So we're just going to pop the lid off just like that. And we're just going to mix this old girl up. And just make sure you got both parts mixed up very good. And be sure to breathe it in so you lose a few brain cells. And the main thing is, especially with these plastic liners, and not so much on your sealer but on your base coats, say you got a whole bunch of different pearls in it and toners. A lot of times on these plastic cups your toners will stick to the side from static. So what you'll want to do is take your stick and make sure you really scrape along the sides and on the bottom of the cup. Otherwise you're not going to mix it up right and it's not going to look like the chip that you picked out. So be sure to very well mix this, get all your toners off the sides, mix it in, and be good. But that's mainly on your base. Your sealer, go ahead and just kind of scrape along the sides, but you don't have to get carried away. But yeah, not too bad. So we'll just mix this old girl up. And I went with a kind of a lighter sealer on this because I mean it's a Firewall. When we do the rest of the truck, we're probably going to use a darker sealer, give it more kind of a depth with our base. So that's what we're going to do here with this. The lighter is going to be just fine. We're not looking for that depth. We're just looking to make it, you know, you pop the hood, you look, oh yeah, that looks, you know, it's not pewter or white. You know, matches the truck. ahead and throw that guy down. Get the lid on the old cup. All right, so we got our sealer on. Looks pretty dang good. I think what we're going to do, we're going to let this flash off. We got enough left. We're probably going to go ahead and hit the top up here where we're going to see it. Hit that again and just kind of, you know, after it flashes off, then what we're going to do, we're going to go over here and get our base ready to go. And I'll show you what we're going to do there. It's we're using a Wanda base. And it's mixed 2-to-1. Wanda's fairly reasonable, that's why I went with it. I don't particularly like Wanda clear, so we're going to go with a Diamond clear. It's a better quality. It costs a lot more, but it's good. For what we saved on our base, we can afford a good clear. Yeah, your base matters, but your clear coat's what, you know, that's what brings the pizzazz. So we're going to do that. I'll bring you in when we start mixing up our base. Alright, so we're ready to go ahead and do our base here. So, get some of this crap out the way. Wanda's supposed to be 2-to-1, and if you're on your mixing cups, it's right there. 2-to-1, and we'll do 2 parts, and then 1 part of our reducer here. So, just want to make sure all the dust is out of it, and then I got to find a paint can opener so I can open my base. And we're not going to need a whole lot. We may just mix it up to the 2. I don't know if this is going to be that transparent or not. I'm not too familiar with spraying with Wanda. But if it is transparent, not that big of a deal. We'll just put on some extra coats. Ooh, look at that. That's going to be pretty. Let's go ahead and just mix that bad boy up. And you can feel it on the bottom of the paint can. It's just, you know, just make sure you get all of them mixed up. Just boy, that's gonna be a pretty Hardy son of a bitch. Alright, so we went ahead and we got our base on. Like I said, we hit the top up here a little more where you're going to see it, and down in here we didn't put the beans to it, so it's not going to be seen anyway, so we really don't need to spend more time on that than we have to. Up here where you're visually going to be seeing a lot, that's where we spent, pounded her a little bit. But I think next time we're going to let this flash off, we're going to get our clear, and we'll push forward. Okay, so we got everything ready for our clear. It's mixed 4:1:1, and we're going to be using Diamond Clear by R&M. It's very good stuff. I prefer to use it. It holds up very good to UV rays. That's where a lot of people misconceive. Yeah, you can go ahead and get a cheaper clear, but it's not going to hold up good to UV stuff. And I've seen paint jobs where, man, it looks beautiful. You get it out the door, and that car sits outside all the time. It only lasts 5-6 years. Next thing you know, it's dying out, or your paint starts flaking, peeling. Been there, done that. Not fun. So I stress on not skimping on your clear. Buy the good clear coat. It's worth it in the long run. You can buy a cheaper base and put a good clear coat over it, and you're going to be just fine. But this is mixed 4:1:1. So we're going to go ahead and mix that. Start with your clear. Take it right up to the 4. Then do one part of our hardener. If I can get it off there. Get the old vice grips out. Boom.
And then our reducer. Beautiful. Get a clean stern stick. Mix that guy up. You know, put the lime in the coconut and mix it all up. That's probably good. Where did we put our lid? Anybody see it? You know, if you did, just holler out, hey, it's right there, rocking. There it is. Right where you guys told me. I appreciate that. Get her on there. Do the old shaker. Wonderful. We're going to turn on the compressor, let it build up, you know, because it was around when the Donner Party was here. So we're going to go ahead and get it fired up. Alright, so we got our clear coat on. We just did 2 coats. One really kind of just, you know, you want to mist it first, and then your second coat just feed her the onions. I mean, just pound it, you know. And it turned out really good. I'm really happy with the color. I opened the door so we get some sunlight on it, and man, color is beautiful. Just the metallic in it is just wonderful. I'm gonna bring you in a little bit closer and show you. Just take a look at that. I'm gonna try not to get my microphone into the paint, but because she's still wet, but man, it is. She's gonna be a purty son of a gun. I'm happy with it. So I think that, and eventually what we're gonna do, we're gonna two-tone it from this body line here down. We're probably going to do that in silver, so that with that and the black frame is going to look really good. I think it's going to stand out, and I'm happy with the way it's coming out. But I think next step, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get this on the truck, start swapping all our dash stuff over, then we can start cutting rocker panels off and getting them bad boys fitted and welded. We do have to put some new pins and bushings on these hinges. I'll show you that when we get to that point. Pretty simple job, and if you got a 99 through 06 Chevrolet, you're gonna have to do it. But man, I'm pleased with that. I'm happy with the way that has turned out, and she's gonna look sharp. Good morning, everyone. It's a few days later. Took a little time off, did a little fishing yesterday, so figured I just need a day to relax. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and put our muffler on it. We went with a MagnaFlow. I think it's a, what is this? 12.599. It's got 3-inch inlet and a 3-inch outlet. I think it's going to work pretty good. That's kind of the sound I'm going for. I don't want something that's going to be obnoxious, you know. It's going to have more of a low tone, and it'll sound good when you open her up. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hack this guy off. Just bzz, and just take it off. And I don't think we're going to run duals out the back. We may just do a dump. And I think we're going to roll with that. So I'm going to go ahead and get the old Sawzall fired up, and we'll cut this bad boy off. Alright, so we got our muffler welded on, we got our hole fixed in the floor, we got it seam sealed up. Sorry I didn't get it filmed. It's been a hectic week with work and trying to juggle everything else. And plus the camera's not working right. I don't know what's going on with it, if I got a problem with the lens, so I'm going to have to address that. But I do apologize for not getting it filmed, but I'm going to try to get the camera fixed for the next episode. But I'll show you what we went ahead and did. So, as you can see, we got the exhaust put on. I went with the MagnaFlow. I like the Flowmasters, but you got to remember, I live in town now. So, we got to kind of keep her quiet in the mornings on first startup. But it should sound good. It's just not going to be as loud. Don't make fun of my welds. I ain't no professional, but they're gonna hold, I guarantee you. We did have to make this hanger back here. We took two, made one, and I think it's gonna work. We're probably just gonna get a couple tips and just turn them down. I'm probably not gonna run duals out the back. So that's that. Then we got the hole fixed in the floor. We welded it up and got it seam sealed. And it's just going to be just fine. I do need to go ahead and finish wire wheeling this. And then we'll get some chassis saver on it as well. Don't note the writing on my hand. That's measurements for some U-bolts for a pickup at work. Didn't have no paper, so we just used the old hand. But that's where we're at on this. You can see we got the firewall painted. That's really about it that we did off camera. As you saw in previous episodes, that was a pretty big gap between that sheet metal there. And this is a trick an old timer taught me. One time I was at work and he saw me struggling. He says, I'm going to run to my shop real quick, I'll be back. Well, he came back and he gave me this. He says, put that over your hole or your gap, have somebody hold it there, and you weld from the opposite side, and he says it's going to make it 100 times easier to fill that gap. And I said, what the hell is it? He goes, it's out of transformers, you know, for the power lines. He said, I got a whole bucket of them over there. He said, it works great. And I've used it for years, and it's done the job, and I don't know if you ever lost it, where to get one, but Works great. Worked great for that. We filled it in, especially on sheet metal because it's so dang thin. And it's easy to start blowing through and works great. But I don't even know what it is if I'm being honest. Any of y'all out there are linemen guys or work on power lines, let me know. But so I think the next step we're going to do is we're going to get this cab on the truck. And we're going to start doing some body work up top, cutting our rocker panels off. And we'll inspect our cab corners, see what they look like. If we got to order some, we'll order them. But I think other than that, we're going to start swapping some dash stuff over, steering column, master cylinder, you know, just get it mobile again. You can see that wheels are different. You're going, where's the aluminum wheels? Well, the second owner that had this, he actually messaged me and he said, hey, do you got any 8-lug wheels? And I said, as a matter of fact, I do. So he bought those for his other pickup, and I had these guys sitting out the farm in the barn for a rainy day, and we put them in on there. And so, but I'm going to hold off from putting those on because I don't want to get overspray all over them. These ones, I don't care. They get a little paint on them, so be it. But I think that's going to conclude everything for this episode. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Sorry I missed out on all this footage. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on with that camera so it doesn't happen again. I apologize for that. But I appreciate all y'all. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. And I'll try to put out some more videos for you. So thank you.